Welcome, everybody, to Greg Talks to People, the show recommended by 4 out of 5 therapists, and one of those is likely my own because I have a problem. On today's show, we have a popular wrestling content creator and reactor, the one, the only, Minnie Portable. Welcome to the show, Minnie.
Hello, thank you for having me. Also, my therapist also tells me that I have a lot of issues, so I'm right there with you.
It seems to be the case for a number of us.
For millennials, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Now, I want to talk about this up front because this is very recent. You were just on the AMC debut show of TNA, and you got shouted out by the commentary team, which was super cool. You know, it's a pretty cool thing for a wrestling company like TNA that's been around as long as it have to embrace content creators that openly. So what was that like being invited to the crowd for the show, and what was the vibe like the entire time you were there?
Everybody was very welcoming and nice. We were there to be a part of the debut. We did get free tickets to the show, but it was more so like here's free tickets, but also like no one's flying us out there, so we had to pay for hotel, flights, transportation, like everything else. We were happy to be there, and the backstage area was pretty cool to be a part of because it's like you just like AJ Styles is here, the Hardy brothers are just passing by, like all of the TNA talent are just there like hanging out. And it was a really cool environment. We were marking out on the inside, but we got to keep it professional, so it's not like we were like, oh my god, Hardy's hi, we were just like, oh cool, whatever, just a little head nod there. The shout out was insane because we didn't know that was happening until we got there, and luckily we were all camera ready.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I watched that, and they panned around to the crowd to like some of the AMC people, and then they panned around to the content creators. It's like, I know more of these content creators than I do for this AMC show. Like,
Yeah.
that's just kind of the vibe with that. So what got you into doing content creation for wrestling specifically?
For wrestling specifically, I was streaming. I started streaming in 2021. So I was streaming old school wrestling clips. Me and my very, very small community of like 5, 8 people would just watch old school wrestling stuff, just stuff that we grew up in. And that was me for like 2 hours just talking about wrestling, watching old stuff, watching our favorite promos, stuff like that. I wasn't really growing though. And then somebody on my chat was like, you really need to get on TikTok. So I just clipped something from my stream, posted it on TikTok. That went super viral. And then once I finally got the opportunity to get some traction to my page, I just worked. I capitalized off of it. I started doing 3 or 4 TikToks a day. I was trying to funnel them to my Twitch because that's what I really was doing. I was streaming. And then I got into more so content when I realized this is something that I could really do. I like to make people laugh. If I can continue to do this within the wrestling space, then I will do my very best work. So I'm trying to do more skits to my channel, but that's initially how I started.
Okay, great. Now, you see it all the time, especially with how toxic social media is. Wrestling content creators getting attacked for the most ridiculous reasons. And it more often than not seems to be the women in the space that get attacked, which is also completely ridiculous. Now, how do you deal with this additional negativity that comes your way? Because that unfortunately is part of being on the internet and being somebody who a lot of people tune in to see.
Yeah, just keep winning. Just keep winning. Just keep working at it because opportunities aren't just coming at our door because we're just women in the space, or opportunities are not coming at our door because of one video. We're on it consistently. We're streaming. We're creating content on multiple platforms: Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. We're on multiple platforms. We work at this every single day. When it comes to the negativity with women, it really sucks. And I know that I've dealt with this because I sort of just came into the space in 2023 when TikTok went viral. So people just assumed that I was this new wrestling fan that just got lucky. And I've been watching wrestling since I was a child. I'm 33 years old. And there's people that talk to me as if like, oh, you should really watch stuff from like the Ruthless Aggression era. And I'm like, that's literally what that's what I grew up in. I'm just like, people will talk to me as if like I don't know anything. And unfortunately, there are some larger creators that just want to demean you and demean all the work and treat you as if you're this fake fan, but you're doing it because you received attention off of it.
I'll tell you what, it's absolutely ridiculous to criticize somebody for their fandom because nobody knows where you came from. You said you've been watching since you were a kid, which is
Mhm.
awesome. I just don't understand like why everybody on social media needs to have this superiority. It's like, oh, I know more than you.
Mhm.
That's so dumb. Like, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy.
Yeah, there's also a lot of gatekeeping, but just like what you said, like it fans just feel like it's a competition. And people see me at TNA and they're like, how is she in TNA when my content is primarily just focused on TNA, but she gets to be invited and blah blah blah. It's like maybe don't make it a competition. Maybe just like work just do it for yourself. Don't do it for the opportunities. I never did it for the opportunities. Opportunities are coming and I'm so very grateful for it. I also am very humble when they come at me. I don't think that I'm afforded these opportunities because I deserve it or anything like that. It's just do it for yourself. Once you do it for yourself, it translates to an audience because it's like you can see like the genuine passion for the industry. And I think a lot of people, just like you said, it's just like, well, I know more than this person, and I know it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You just have to connect with an audience.
I think being humble is a major part of that. You touched on something that's incredibly important in not just this space, but humanity in general. Being
Mhm.
humble, being kind, showing that passion is very, very important.
Mhm.
Now, in that same vein, there's a lot of outside noise from trolls, but has there been anything about your creator journey that has been difficult from you outside of the outside noise?
Oh, absolutely. For me personally, it's the it's the focus on being a reaction streamer, reaction content creator. And I understand why I'm labeled that way because most of my content is coming from my streams. So most of my content is reactionary. I started this by just trying to make people laugh. And most of my content on TikTok, the 3, 4+ videos that I was posting every single day, 4 months, were just skits or just like funny content. It wasn't reaction content. Reaction content is something that unfortunately I don't want to stop doing because of the huge engagement since a couple of us started this in 2023 and now we're getting the most engagement out of it. So it's kind of hard to stop doing it, but it does suck that it's like, well, you're just a reaction creator and it's like I'm labeled as that. And I'll take it, but at the same time, I'm so much more than that because I stream multiple hours a week. I create other content, but I know that that's like my niche, unfortunately.
And you touched on something like when people see somebody associated with something, they associate them with that and then never see deeper. And I think that's something
Mhm.
that people watching and consuming your content need to realize is that you're not a one trick pony. You're multi talented for a number of reasons. So, just because you do one thing and you're known for one thing, that doesn't mean that's all you can do.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, we talked about the TNA appearance earlier. Uh, Now, since you've been doing more of this content creation, is there an ultimate bucket list item that you want to accomplish, whether it's content that you actually create or being invited to something else? What cool things would you like to accomplish from what you're doing?
So bucket list items, more so, I want to reach 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've been working at it every single day, mostly with like figuring out the kind of content that I'm going to put on there because I could easily do the whole, like just the basic generic stuff of like, I could just do, like hot takes or just, like stuff that's trending, but it's like other people are doing it already. Why would I do that? It's probably not going to work with me because I have a very spicy reaction towards people with hot takes because they're like, my hot take is this, and it's like it's not a hot take. So it would literally not work for me because I feel like I would just be talking down to to most of the hot takes. So 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I definitely would like to I want to. This is going to be a weird one, but it's always something that I've always wanted because I have so much trauma in my life. I feel like if there was ever a documentary or a Law and Order SVU episode on like the tragedy and assault that happens within the WWE, I would really love to perform that because I can hone into my drama. Yeah, that's like the most randomest bucket list, but I think about it all the time. So yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't done an episode like that where, there's something that happens in like this really famous place and it
Mhm.
affects somebody else so deeply. That they should really look into that for a future episode, considering they're still going.
Yeah.
Now, all content creators are different. We've
Mhm.
talked about this and we're going to talk about it in a little bit as well. But if you had to give advice to somebody who is trying to break into the space or make a name for themselves in the space, what would you tell them?
It's very generic, but be yourself. And then also, just because it's working for somebody else, that does not mean that you have to do it. If you just like the hot take stuff, I know that it wouldn't work for me, but I know that it brings in views. Rage baiting, don't really care to rage bait, even though people think that I rage bait just because I have one opinion and they're like, oh, well, you're just rage baiting. No, that's really how I feel. But I mean, if you want to take it like that, then sure. Um, just yeah, just you really have to sit down with yourself because it will translate. If you're doing the same thing that everybody else is doing, and it seems like you're not really being yourself, it will translate, and it's not going to bring in numbers. There are creators that I'm seeing pop up on my Instagram, and they're doing either skits or they're opinion based, but they're adding comedy and like little jabs here and there. And those creators I'm like more gravitated towards because I'm like, oh man, like this is funny. Like you're giving your opinion, but you're also being very funny and you have like a straight face while you're doing it. So it's just, yeah, just completely be yourself. And if you want to do what everybody else is doing, cool. Make it yourself though.
That's good advice. Definitely anybody looking to become a content creator, good advice to take. So I'm going to list off a few wrestling content creators, and I just want you to give brief thoughts on them, your
Mhm.
opinions of them. First of all, let's start with Con Man. I've been
Gosh.
into I've been into a couple of Con Man streams. He's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Also at TNA. What are your opinions of him?
Nice guy. Honestly gets I his faces when he reacts is insane. He's a good like he's well when you talk about reaction streamers, he's literally the best person because he's like like it's very on brand for con man. You can't go on a con man stream without just his face is so funny when he does that. Yeah, good guy, definitely very giving with his time and knowledge. He's been in this game. He's like one of the OGs. He's been doing it for 10 plus years. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, just good guy.
All right. Next up, Alex, Queen of the Ring.
Very spicy. She's mama bear. If we ever need shit done when it comes to like accommodations of like Airbnb or just like if we're too nervous or shy to ask for something, it's her. She's very like it's that New York in her, it's that Puerto Rican in her. She's very assertive, and even though she's assertive, she's also very sweet.
I get that vibe from Alex. Um, Muscle Man Malcolm.
Fucking sorry, I cursed.
Hey, I don't care. You can
Okay,
say
okay.
whatever you want.
Uh, that guy, man, that guy. Every single time he gets a win, it puts a smile on my face. I've met him a couple times. He's he doesn't sleep. This is what he wants to do, and good for him because he has reached levels that I've only seen with like Chris Van Vliet.
Mhm.
He's crazy, man. He's crazy. Good. He's funny and he's one of a kind. And it's very hard right now in the wrestling space to be one of a kind, but he's one of a kind.
He absolutely is. I've had the pleasure of being able to talk to Malcolm. He's fantastic.
Mhm.
Um, this is funny because this popped into who I wanted to talk about. I just saw that you had an interview with him on your social media. BDE.
Also, actually, one of a kind, funny, very giving, time, knowledge, just super energetic. Like I don't know when he takes a break either. Like him and Malcolm, I feel like they're always doing something. They're always on the go. They're always ready for anything that like lands on their feet. It's it's inspiring to see the way they work when you're around them because you're like, how do you have this much energy?
Brent Oakley.
Freaking, he's so dumb. He's so stupid. Um, this is Brett. This is Brett. Okay, do you know Dayton, Ohio? Do you know like the place Dayton?
Yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania, so I've been through Dayton.
Okay, so there's like nothing to do out there, right? There's
Mhm.
like literally nothing. The downtown is like just like a little row of like uh of restaurants and like stuff to do. Me, Wheezy, and Nate were in Dayton, Ohio, and Brent saw that we were in Dayton. There was also a PW Revolver show that was happening. So he messaged me saying, "Hey guys, you guys are in Dayton? Hey, there's a show happening. I could I can get you in." And we're just like, "Brent, there's nothing to do in Dayton. Why are we in Dayton?" Why are we in Dayton, Brett? That's Brett. Such a funny guy. Always going to be the person that's going to be the most exciting and the most funny person there. Yeah.
And since you just brought her up, Wheezy Blonde.
Wheezy is my little sister here. If I wasn't in this if I was in this space and Wheezy wasn't here, I think it would be hard for me to like to not keep going, but more so to like find somebody that I can confide in, because there's a lot of bullshit that happens in this space, a lot of bullshit.
Mhm.
But it's also something that you can't really talk about the bullshit because then it's going to be drama, and then now your days are consistent with like going back and forth with somebody or just having to address stuff, and it's like, dude, that's a lot, especially when you're just trying to create content.
Absolutely. Now, is there anybody else that I hadn't mentioned that you want to shout out that have been important in your journey?
Nate,
Of
Nate,
course.
he's he's so brilliant, man. The first time I saw his skits and the way that he can do Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Triple H, he can do their voices. He's just multi talented, and yeah, that's another very important person. Mhm.
All right. Now, I'd like to thank you for your time. This has been fantastic. And, you're also going to be on The Hump this Wednesday with Sean Ross Sapp. Now, how did that come about, Sean asking you to be a part of the show?
Straight DM on Twitter. Hey man, hey man, do you want to be a part of the hump? Yeah, cool. Can I lock you in? Yeah, cool. I also was a part of the I believe it was the um what was it? Bad Blood. It was a Bad Blood uh post show. Yeah, it was that one. So I was a part of that already. So it was easy for him to just be like, "Hey, do you want to be part of it?" Yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
All right. Now, if anybody who watches the show is not familiar with you, where can they find you on social medias and streaming?
Minnie Portable everywhere except on TikTok. TikTok is Minnie.portable because my original one got banned and then somebody took my username and is now using it. So yeah, Minnie.portable.
There you go. Thank you so much for joining us, Minnie. Go check out Minnie everywhere on social media. Go check out all of her content. There was one last question that I can't believe I skipped over. One of my favorite videos that I watched you do was your emotional reaction to the return of AJ Lee.
Mhm.
Now, how do you process a moment like that, watching one of your favorites come back when it didn't look like for the longest time it was going to be a possibility?
So, was it Clash in Paris? Was it that when Becky was revealed to be the
Mhm.
yeah? Okay, so Clash in Paris. I unfortunately could not stream because I was really sick. So I missed it and I slept through it, and then my phone was like blowing up and they were like, Minnie, AJ Lee might return. But like AJ Lee, like I have thought she was returning for so many damn times that when people were tagging me, I was like, let me see this. And then I was like, oh wait, she really might be returning. And then the more CM Punk kept like giving little hints as to like, well, I might need somebody to like go after Becky. Um, the unfortunate part too is, and I'm gonna tell you right now, somebody did slid in my DMs that know stuff about backstage and was like, hey, with the little eyes. And I was like, I was like, so the surprise was like, the surprise wasn't there anymore. It was pretty obvious that she was going to return, but I was just anxious because she is one of my favorites. She was there during a time where I was a super outcast and a nerd, and I just needed somebody to gravitate towards in the industry because all you saw were blondes and divas and big boobs, and everybody was the typical, like the typical just face of a diva. And then she was there, and she was the nerd. She was the outcast. She wasn't just about, like body. She was smart. She was witty. She read comic books. And I was like, this is like, that's how I grew up. So for me, I always gravitated towards her. When she left, it was unfortunate, but I understood. And then just the fact that I can see because I was like 19, 20, 21, 22 when she was active. So I was like, just to know that Minnie is gonna get back the person that really helped her during her adult journey. I was like, this is going to be insane. So if you so within my reaction, you could see I'm just like like I'm like
Mhm.
trying to hold my breath, and I'm like, because I didn't want to cry. Everybody like assumed that I like cried for attention. I don't want to cry on the internet. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Who like why would I just be like over a scripted sport? Like it's
Mhm.
like, no, I don't want to be crying. And yeah, the waterworks just came and I couldn't really say anything. And it was a really special moment too, because I met her a year before and she was very sweet. And I cried when I met her. I couldn't even speak. So weird. It's so weird, this wrestling freaking sport, man. Because you get so attached to these people, you get
Mhm.
attached to the characters, but it's nice when you meet them in person and they end up being the same.
That's fantastic. What a great story to end on. Again, go follow Minnie everywhere on social media. Go follow her. Go enjoy her content. And thank you for watching this episode of Greg Talks to People. You can find me on all social media at Greg Cherry Brand. And until next time, be kind to each other.
Bye bye bye.